This is Unit 6, Level 1, Customary Units of Measurement. In order to convert measurements in the customary system, you first need to realize that there are three categories that these measurements fall under. First, we have the category of length, which includes things like inches, feet, yards, and miles. Next, we have capacity, which includes fluid ounces, cups, pints, quarts, and gallons. And our last category is weight, which includes ounces, pounds, and tons. Now, one area of confusion is the difference between an ounce and a fluid ounce. A fluid ounce, fluid meaning liquid, it has to be a liquid measurement, whereas weight, or other ounce, can be anything non-liquid. Those are the three areas that you'll need to know, and you will need to spend some time memorizing how many inches are in a foot, how many cups are in a pint, how many pounds are in a ton. But we're going to go through today and look at some different situations and some different conversions, and we'll talk about what happens when we're going from a small to a large measurement and a larger to a smaller measurement. First up on the left here, I have if we were going from a large measurement to a small measurement. And you'll kind of see what I mean by large versus small. So for example, I'm starting out with 2 feet, and here are my feet. And if I go back over to the other page, I can see that there are 12 inches in every foot. And when I look here, it says I'm going from 2 feet to how many inches. So I need to know how many inches are in each of those feet. Now, the reason why I say I'm going from a large measurement to a small measurement is because a foot is larger than an inch, right? It's going to take 12 of these guys to just make one of these guys, 12 inches to make 1 foot. So if I take this foot here and I go ahead and I break it into 12 pieces, One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then back over here I have my 12. So that's my 12 inches that it takes to make just one of them. And if I do the same 12 over here, what I'm really doing is taking 12 plus 12, or 12 times 2, and I find out that in 2 feet, there are 24 inches. Notice that when I'm going from a, from a larger measurement of feet to a smaller measurement of inches, my number is actually getting bigger. That's because it takes a lot of these inches to make just one of those feet. So because my number is getting bigger, the operation that I'm doing to go from a large to a small is I am multiplying. And again, I said I could take 12 plus 12, but that's the same thing as multiplying 12 times 2. I looked at how many inches there are and how many feet I was trying to convert, and I'm just going to take those 12 times 2 to get 24 inches is my final answer. When we're looking at a smaller measurement to a larger measurement, I'm going to take, for example, cups to pints. I know that a cup is smaller than a pint, so how many of those cups does it take to make just 1 pint? Let's go ahead and go back and look. Here it says I have 2 cups to make 1 pint. So if I come back over, that means these 2 are going to make just 1 pint. And these 2 together will make just 1 pint. So I started off with 4 cups, and it's converting into 2 pints. So when I'm going from a smaller measurement, like cups, to a larger measurement like pints, it's taking a lot of those smaller measurements to make just 1 larger measurement. Therefore, my number is going to get smaller, and therefore I need to divide. If I took those 4 cups and I divided by how many cups there are in a pint, which is 2 cups in 1 pint, then that tells me that my number's going to get smaller, and therefore I'm going to be dividing. So again, one of the rules is when you're going from a large measurement to a small measurement, you will be multiplying. When you're going from a small measurement to a large measurement, you will be dividing. I always think in these cases that drawing a picture helps if you're unsure of whether or not you're going to multiply or divide. And of course, as you're practicing, referring back to this converting measurement chart would help you in deciding what to do. Sometimes you'll find that you have to make more than one jump in order to make the conversion. So for example, I have yards to inches here. I know that in every 1 yard, I'm going to have 3 feet. And in each one of those 3 feet are going to be 12 inches. So really I'm making 2 jumps here. I'm going from a yard to an inch, and therefore I'm going from a large measurement to a small, and if you'll remember back, that means I'm going to need to multiply. First, instead of going straight from yards to inches, I'm going to first take those 4 yards and I'm going to change them into feet. To do that, I need to remember that for every one of these 4 yards, there's going to be 3 feet. So if here's a yard, here's a yard, here's a yard, here's a yard, each one of those are going to have 3 feet. So because I'm going from a large measurement to a smaller measurement, I'm going to multiply. I'm going to take 4 times 3 and get 12 feet. Now that I have it in feet, I can take those 12 feet and I can change them into inches. For each one of those feet, all 12 of them, each one of those feet are going to have 12 inches inside of them. So there's going to be 12 inches there in each one of those feet. So in order to figure out how many inches are in 12 feet, I would take 12 times 12, which would give me 144 inches. So again, I had to find feet before I could jump from yards to inches. So sometimes, especially with that customary, you have to, the capacity, you have to make sure that you are going through each step and not trying to jump over any of the steps. So like in this case, when I go from yard to inches, I first have to find my feet. You can use these capacity, especially when we'll find them a lot when you are cooking. And so I have a quick story problem here for us to go through. Louisa is making punch for her soccer team picnic. She uses 8 quarts of lemon lime soda, 4 pints of vanilla ice cream, and 8 cups of orange juice. How many gallons of punch will she have? So again, if she's using all of these, she's using 8 quarts and she's adding to it 4 pints, and then she's adding to it 8 cups, and she wants to know how many gallons that'll be. So we have to first convert all of these into an equal measurement so that we can add. We can't just take 8 plus 4 plus 8 because they're not equal sizes. So just like we did with fractions where we found a common denominator, we're going to find a common measurement to put these in. And I'm going to say, let's go ahead and see if we can convert these. We won't go all the way down to cups. Let's see if we can convert them all into pints. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take those 8 cups and I'm going to convert them to pints. So I know that there are 2 cups in every pint, and I'm going from a smaller measurement like cups to a larger measurement like pints. So I'm going to be dividing. I'm going to take those 8 cups and I'm going to divide it by 2 because it takes 2 of those 8 cups to make just 1 pint. 8 divided by 2 is 4, so 8 cups is equal to 4 pints. Now, I'm going from 8 quarts into pints. Quarts are a bigger measurement. Therefore, because I'm going from a larger to a smaller, and it's going to take a lot of those pints to make just 1 quart, I'm going to be multiplying it. So 8 quarts And there are 2 pints in a quart, so 8 times 2 is going to give me 16. 16 pints. Now that I have them all in pints, I can go ahead and add them. 16 plus 4 plus 4. 16 plus 4 is 20. 20 plus 4 is going to give me 24 pints. So right now I have 24 pints, but I need to know how many gallons that is in order to answer my question. So if I come back over to the front and I see right now I'm in pints and I need to get to gallons. So I'm at pints. I know there are 2 pints in every quart and 4 quarts in every gallon. So I'm going to take those pints and I'm going to change them to quarts. And then I'm going to go ahead and change the quarts into gallons. So 2 pints in every quart. That means it's going to take 2 of these to make a quart. So I'm going from a smaller measurement of pint to a larger measurement of quart. And therefore I'm going to be dividing it. 24 divided by 2 is going to give me 12. So 24 pints are going to be 12 quarts. Now, if you'll remember back, it said that in every gallon there are 4 quarts. That means it's going to take 4 of these guys to make just 1 gallon. Again, going from a small measurement to a large measurement, so I'm going to divide. If I take that 12 and I divide it by 4, which is the number of quarts in a gallon, I'm going to get a total of 3 gallons. So again, in this particular problem, we had to first change things into equal measurements before we added them together in order to then convert them to find that final measurement of gallons. Again, doable, a lot of steps, but I just need to break it down. Again, pictures will oftentimes help with these. This is Unit 6, Level 1, Converting Customary Measurements.